Hello, strangers. I've been dealing with family issues lately, so that's the reason why there's been any videos lately. But beyond that, I want to discuss something that's been playing in my mind a lot lately, and has um, come to the forefront uh, very recently, pretty much today, especially. Today is Saturday, November 14th, 2015. Yesterday, according to the news reports, at least 8 gunmen, most of which carrying bombs strapped to their bodies, attacked various places around Paris. Restaurants, a soccer match, and a concert hall where a rock band, an American rock band at that, from right here in California, where they were playing. The reports are something on the order of 120 or so dead, probably about as many more wounded. And the obvious perpetrators for this are Islamic terrorists. And while, as of this particular recording, ISIS the Islamic State has taken credit for it, but I'm not too sure if that's really been confirmed yet. I apologize if the sound is off sync, is the sound and the picture off sync, because this is just anyway. So it's a dreadful tragedy, but what I've been seeing, I've been going through my Facebook feed since last night, since this morning, and it's already started. All the politicization, I can't even say that word, politicizing of this tragedy is already taking place. It started taking place the instant the news hit. And, of course, once again, it's Islamic terrorists. And there's a great deal of people out there who take actions like this. And apparently there was also, on the 12th or the 11th, there was also a bombing in Beirut, killing another 40-some people. And way too many people, especially in my country here in America, take actions like those and very broadly brush the entire Islamic religion. And it's very easy to do. It's always easy to take the actions of a few people and paint the entire group, whether it's black gang members in the in downtown LA or New York or Chicago or whatever, and then just paint the entire black community as thugs. Paint the Hispanic community as thugs, or somehow taking jobs away or anything like that. All Muslims are terrorists. It's very easy to do that, and it's really wrong thinking. Take the Westboro Baptist Church, or there was recently a pastor who spoke at an event where a couple of the GOP candidates that are running for president right now, they're at, and he's calling for the immediate and public deaths of all gays in America. If this guy got and if we didn't have the laws, I think, in America that we did, this guy, would definitely take his opportunity to do exactly that. I have no doubt. But do we take those kind of people and just paint all Christians as hateful? Some do, and it's like I said, it's way too easy to do. But what I want to do right now, the whole point of this really, is to tell you of a friend of mine from high school. His birth name, I believe, was Prashanto Radrul Huda Shakar. We all knew him as Ranji Huda. And Ranji was born in Massachusetts, so he's an American citizen. Raised for the first few years in Florida, and then at some point moved out to California. And I knew him from junior high on. And his parents were Bengali and and Indian. And he had at least 2 older sisters, and an older brother died rather young, so it's just basically his 2 older sisters, and Ranji was effectively the baby of the family. And they're all Muslim. But the thing about Ranji is that he was a terrible Muslim. Muslims aren't supposed to eat pork. Same thing. A lot of the laws set in the Jewish Talmud and Torah and Talmud, the Old Testament, about eating pork and shaving beards and all that sort of stuff, the Muslims follow. And so just as an Orthodox Jew would, so they don't eat pork. They don't. But my friend ate anything. He loved bacon. And his parents spoke with a very distinct, the Indian inflection. But my friend, for some inexplicable reason, I don't know quite why, he kind of adopted he taught himself kind of a New York, Brooklyn, Bronx accent. He idolized Billy Joel, and so kind of really taught himself Billy's speech patterns, and kind of spoke in that style. Very, he literally took Billy Joel's song New York State of Mind to heart. He was definitely in that New York state of mind. When I met him, he was in band. I was in choir, he was in band, and he played the clarinet, but quickly switched over to saxophone, especially once he reached high school. And he was a great jazz saxophone player. He did wonderful improvisations, solos. He played in the jazz band and just rocked it. And so, not obviously in no way, shape, or form your stereotypical Muslim guy. He still did certain things. He made sure, they occasionally. I remember one fishing trip that I took for like a week with him and his dad, and they made sure that the sleeping bags and everything faced east, and that they prayed east to Mecca. So there was a few things that he did do, a few things that he did celebrate. But he celebrated Christmas just like the rest of everybody in America too. So I mean, it's you know, he was a very secular. There was a few things that he did, especially around his family. Um, so, and yeah, he moved in with my mother and stayed there for a few years, and then went off and did. And we kind of lost touch. He doesn't do social media or anything like that. So, and I really don't, send letters on email. So we talk occasionally, but yeah, not as often as we probably should. But here's the thing about that, he wasn't very religious. His parents kind of were. They followed, a lot of the Islamic doctrines. Not very strongly, not very, there are people that follow it very closely. His mother didn't go around in the hijab or anything like that. She wore her, so, but there were certain customs and things that, that she followed, that his dad followed. I think they got a divorce. His parents got divorced before I met him, but so they lived in separate places. He lived with his mom, so I saw her more often. But the nicest group of people you'd ever meet. Hardworking. They both had jobs. They both did stuff. They both adapted and accustomed and acclimated themselves to the American lifestyle, and my friend Ranji really did. And I think every time I see attacks and where the people who take this religion and distort it and use it as an excuse to create all sorts of chaos and murder and mayhem, and then we use them as the example for the entire culture. And they say things, and I've seen people that friends of mine who were friends of his who have said things, and this is basically the whole emphasis for me even making this video, is because they've been saying things like this. It's like, that's not Ranji. That's not his mother. That's not his dad. That's not his sisters. That's not what Muslims are. That's not what they are. And these guys, I think that my friend and his family and everybody like them, they are the rule. These terrorists out there are the exception. Just like Westboro Baptist is the exception to Christians. Just like the black gang members and the Hispanic gang members and all those people that are just that do create trouble, legitimate trouble, are the exception to the rule. And it's too easy, and it's wrong to keep sitting there and painting an entire culture with that same brush, just because a few people, What are the statistics that I heard is it's a meme that's going around. 1.6 billion Muslims in the world, and Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all those various terrorist groups account for 0.003% of that. So you're taking less than 1% of 1.6 billion people and just clouding, is there things that maybe the rest of the Muslim community could do to kind of isolate them? And maybe, who knows, there's a lot of history going on here, and maybe if I get enough views and maybe get some comments here, and I know I'm gonna, if I get the right kind of views and get the right kind of comments, I know I'm gonna get a whole bunch of people that are probably gonna sit there and try to argue this with me. And in a sense, it's kind of pointless to do so because I've got this experience with this friend of mine, and because of my experience with him, I've researched, I've looked into what it is that he follows, what it is that he believes. Not, like I said, not that he followed that closely, but I've looked into it, and it's not what everybody says it is. It's not what the majority of people who put that religion down says it is. He wasn't that kind of person. His parents weren't that kind of person. Nobody I've met that is in that religion is that kind of person. And it's despicable to paint them with the same brush as you paint these crazy morons out there that are creating all this havoc. Okay, like I said, there's history there. If I get enough of these comments in there, I'll go ahead and tell you the history. I'll go and explain it. There's two big reasons why these people are doing what they're doing. If I get enough interest, then maybe I'll make another video about it. But for now, and I just want to kind of get that off my chest. And get it all out there. I keep on every time I see something in the Facebook feed of all my friends that are saying all these, friends and friends of friends or acquaintances and all these various other memes that are going through there, just taking that brush and painting the entire culture, and it just drives me nuts to know that I've got friends who do not fit that. And I'm almost certain, as anybody can be certain of anything, that my friend, his family, and all the other people like him are the rule, not the exception. Thank you. If you like this, hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos, click the subscribe button. Comment down below. I've got all sorts of things going on. I've got 2 Patreon accounts. Please help me out in those ways. But yeah, so I'll cut this short. It's been long enough. See you next time. Stay strange. Bye.
Thanks for watching my video. If you like what you just watched, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below. For more of my videos, click the subscribe button on the screen or down in the description below. If you'd like to support me in what I do, I have books that you can read. The links are in the description below. If you want to support in other ways, you can go to my Patreon page and help me out there. You can also follow me on various social media pages. The links to all of those are also below. Thank you again. Stay strange.